Hey folks, this is Braden from OpenCraft, and I'm going to give you a quick rundown of the current status of the Libraries v2 feature in OpenEdX as of October 2022. So the way for users to use Libraries v2 is through this new front end called Front-End App Library Authoring, also called the Library Authoring MFE. And the easiest way to use this new front end is with Tutor. So if you're an OpenEdX developer or a deployer using Tutor, then go here to the GitHub repository for the library authoring front end. And if you click on this folder, which is linked from the README as well, you can find this Tutor plugin that will set it up for you and configure Blockstore and do all the details so that you can just start using it. To turn it on, you'll need to run these 5 commands that are listed here. Basically, install the plugin, enable the plugin, update Tutor, automatically configure Blockstore, and then start the new front end. Once it's running, you will see in Studio, when you click on Libraries, it will superficially look the same, but this is now, instead of the old Studio Libraries page, you're seeing the library authoring front end. And the main difference is when you click on New Library here, you will see that there's an option to choose the type of the library. You can ignore video and problem. They're going away and they aren't really implemented. The main selection is between Legacy, which is the version 1 libraries that only support randomization, and Complex, which is the v2 libraries that are based on Blockstore, and what I'm going to show you in the video today. So choose Complex Beta, fill out the form with the name of your new library, and hit Submit, and then you'll have the new library. I already have one created, so I'm just going to click on it here. Now, this is the new library editor for Libraries v2. It's under active development, so it definitely has some rough edges, and the UI look and feel doesn't really match the rest of the platform very well yet, but I believe that is being worked on. One thing you'll notice is when you want to add a new component to the library, you have a lot more options for what type of component to add than in the previous libraries. In fact, you can add any component you want. So let's add drag and drop because it's one of the XBlocks whose editor is working with the new Libraries v2. A lot of the built-in XBlocks, unfortunately, their editors are not yet compatible with React, which is what's used for this MFE, this front end. So I can't show you the editors for some of the built-in blocks, but drag and drop works fine. So let's go ahead and click Edit here. Before we use the editor, for this drag and drop, I'm going to be using a custom image. So I'll go to Assets. Now, unlike normal course authoring, or even the previous libraries experience, with Libraries v2, whenever you need to use a specific asset file, like an image or a PDF for one of your components, you upload it directly to that component. So in this case, I'm building a drag and drop. I have an image that I want to use for that drag and drop. Instead of going to some separate files and uploads page, I just drag the image right here, and it's now attached to this drag and drop. And it will sort of go with this drag and drop wherever it's used. So I'm just going to copy this path here, static/turbines.jpg. And now I'll go into the drag and drop editor. Here's where I fill out the fields of the drag and drop to customize this exercise. The drag and drop editor is a little bit unusual in that it uses this wizard where you go through step by step. So I'll just do that now, set the problem text, continue. Now here I want to use that custom image that I just uploaded. So I put in that path /static/turbines.jpg, press change background, and there's my image of the wind turbines that I wanted here. And then drag and drop editor, a little bit awkward. I need to set up the drag and drop zones. Don't forget to add the alt text for non-visual users. And then we go here, 550, 900, 450, 400. All right, there's my left turbine drop zone. Then I'll do the right turbine. Let's see, 300, 400, 1300, 800. All right, and then I don't need this one. As you can see, I've defined my new drag and drop problem with the rectangles indicating where the turbines are in this photo that I'm using. I click continue. Now I create the draggable items. So I'll just change the first one to say the closer turbine. It goes on the left one. And then I'll choose the second draggable item. Then we can delete these and save. So there's the new drag and drop problem. You can see here, if I drag this one onto the wrong one, it tells me that. If I drag it onto the correct one, I get it right. So there's my custom drag and drop problem. And I go back to the library. Here on this page, as in the previous library experience, you can show and hide the previews of all the items that are in the library. I'll leave it visible. So that's using the visual editors to edit an XBlock in the library. Most third-party XBlocks should be working with this, but most built-in XBlocks, like the ones you see here, HTML Problem Video, their editors are being developed right now, and they're not yet compatible with the new front end because they're too dependent on the old Studio interface. So anyhow, we can still work with them, and I'm going to show you another cool new feature of Libraries v2. So let's create a HTML block, also called a text block. You can see it's down here, currently blank. Click Edit. So here, as you can see, the normal visual editor is not working. It just shows these two input fields, but I can still edit this. So first of all, I'm going to upload an image that I want to use in this. And then this is a new tab for Libraries v2. You can click on Source. And here you can directly edit the OLX of this component. So I'm going to change this to what you see here. So this is the type of the XBlock HTML in this case. And here it's saying, here are two turbines, and then we put the image that we want to use, press save, and then click on View. Now you can see by editing the OLX, I've made changes to the XBlock. And now when I go back to the library, there it is. So above is my drag and drop problem, and here is my HTML or text component. And it's working great. So that's how you can edit the OLX, and that's also useful for problems or videos or any other component. If you are comfortable with OLX authoring, you can use them in Libraries v2 today, and you can do all sorts of advanced things directly from the Studio interface without having to export your course, edit the OLX, and then import it again. Now, how do you use this in a course? Well, once you've made changes to your library, go here and hit Publish. Then go to the Studio homepage, and on the Courses tab, find the course you want to add library content to. In the advanced settings of the course, you'll have to make sure you have the library sourced block enabled like this. If so, then go to the content, find the unit where you want to add something, and you'll see this button here, Library Content. Just hit that and choose Library Sourced Content. This is new, that lets you pick a specific block from a library instead of using randomization. So as you can see, when you add it, you have to configure it first. So hit Open Editor, and then you just choose the library you want to import from. And here you can see the two blocks that I created earlier in this video. So one is a drag and drop, and the other is the image with the text. When I was creating this video, I found out there's currently a bug with using drag and drops via this library sourced interface. So I'm going to choose the image with text and then press save and import. Now you can see it's appeared in my course. I hit publish, view live version, and there you go. Students can use the block. In this case, just read it and view the image. Now, what about updates? So the short answer is if you go into the library and make changes to the block, hit publish, and come back here, you won't immediately see any updates. And I guess updating automatically or with a notice has been implemented for the randomized content block and works with Libraries v2. But with library sourced content, it hasn't automatically notified you of updates yet. So in the case of using library source content, as of today, if you made changes in the library and you want to update in your course, you just have to click edit here, leave everything the same, hit save and import, and then it will refresh with the latest version. And that's it. That's Libraries v2. You can add new types of X blocks. You can edit OLX directly. The visual editors are a work in progress. And you can use library source content to pick the content you want out of the library instead of using randomization. If you have any other questions about Library v2, you can always post questions on the forum. I check it very actively and I'm happy to help out.